Ultra at the beginning of this meeting, and I wanted to sort of give my perspective, having spent a significant amount of time over the weekend at Ultra. My time spent in Ultra concentrated mostly on Saturday. The reason why I went on Saturday was because I saw, like members of Key Biscayne and others, members of our own city, the mass excess of people on Friday night, sort of overpowering the causeway. And that amount of disorder, frankly, was miraculous that there was not somebody hurt in that. And so as mayor of our city, I was very concerned with how things would happen on Saturday. I also received a significant amount of what I consider to be a significant amount of noise complaints on Friday, which I communicated to the organizers. I had communicated about noise concerns to the organizers before the event and multiple times during the event. To their credit, at no time throughout the event did they exceed what is our legal threshold, which is the decibel level that they're required to maintain, at least not that I ever witnessed. The issue that I had is the low pulsating bass that was heard very deep into the city. And also, to be fair to the event, there are a variety of ancillary events throughout the city in that same week, which was Winter Music Conference, that I think sort of Ultra became the blame for everything, right? They got blamed in Wynwood, they got blamed in Allapattah, they got blamed in all parts. But the truth of the matter is we gave out a lot of noise waivers during this Winter Music Conference. And I think that's something that as the next Winter Music Conference approaches, something that, by the way, we've always been a big supporter of, and I think goes to our identity as a city. It is sort of the Art Basel of music. We have to be very conscientious of how our decisions impact our residents. You know, there has been a lot of question as to whether or not this is the appropriate venue for Ultra. I will say that Ultra is something that I've been a big supporter of since I became an elected official. The reason why is because it has a tremendous economic impact on our city. Since 2014, it has provided $220 million, at least according to the statistics I've been given, in economic benefit for the city. It obviously provides direct revenue to the city in the form of a couple of $1 million. It employs thousands of people. And as was mentioned by the mayor and the councilman from Key Biscayne, it also provides a tremendous amount of overtime for our first responders who are working under incredible duress to try to make this event go smoothly. I happen to have been spending hours at the event on Saturday as a result of the complaints that were lodged on Friday. And I can tell you that there are, if the commission decides to keep the event at this location, I would make some significant recommendations. One of them is I would incorporate a standard for low frequency bass that is separate and apart from the decibel level that they have to adhere to. And that standard would have to be a standard that would not be audible by the mainland, by anyone in the mainland, by the edge of the mainland, certainly not in Commissioner Carollo's district, Commissioner Reyes' district, Commissioner Russell's district, which I happen to live in, and I could hear the bass from my house, which was 7 miles away. Now, it could have been from another event, which is possible, or it could have been from some of the boats that were carrying people as well. And so I would certainly suggest that we have a standard for low frequency bass that is not audible by the mainland. This is something that I had actually requested before the event, during the event, and I'm requesting now after the event. I think we should take a very hard look at the end times for the event. The events ended on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 2 a.m. Sunday at 2 a.m., it's a 2 to 3 hour exfil. So you're talking about Sunday at 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. So when you talk about getting in and out of the island, on Sunday, when people are trying to get home to start, even if they left for the weekend, they're trying to get home to start their work day. On Monday, which is the reasonable time when you would expect people to try to come back home, that is a significant challenge. I would suggest some other modifications based on the things that I saw when I was up in the helicopter observing the exfil on Saturday. One is, if we're going to keep it there, I would suggest that the employees be required to leave after all the patrons have left, that they be required to leave by bus, that no vehicles be required to come in and out, because the issue with vehicles is that they're low capacity and you don't control them. And so what they actually did was create a huge clogging of the roadways, aside of course from Key Biscayne residents who are going to try to get in and out of the island. So this obviously doesn't apply to them. I think we should have a dedicated in and out lane for Key Biscayne. And I think you can do that with the capacity that we have. We actually, our police department made a very wise decision on Saturday to make a reversible lane in the inbound lane as an outbound lane. And I think that saved us a lot of time. I commend our manager, who also made a critical decision on Saturday to leave one small stage open at half the decibel level, which allowed some people to concentrate and allow the exfil to happen in a less frenetic fashion than it did on Friday, when everybody just, massively exited the event at the same time. So I commend him and our deputy city manager, they were both there in many moments throughout the weekend. I would suggest that they enhance significantly their waterborne transportation, getting in and out. They, in my opinion, underutilize the waterways. I would require that none of the waterbound vehicles or the exit points be allowed to play music, because I think part of the noise contamination didn't come just from the festival itself, but came from the vehicles that were transporting people that wanted to sort of keep the party going as they were getting people from point A to point B. I would suggest that the Vizcaya Center not be used as a drop-off point as part of the MOT. I think that created a lot of problems in Commissioner Carrillo's district with people who are parking in the roads area. So I think they should be infilling and exfilling from the Stephen P. Clark Center, which is a commercial area that does not affect our residents. If necessary, we should look at potentially limiting the size of the event if we can accomplish our goals through these other means. I would question the wisdom of pointing the main stage, towards the city of Miami, which obviously created noise penetration into the city. And I don't know if our office passed out the DNA letter, but the president of DNA, Amal Kabani, wrote a very specific letter, which I support, with a lot of these recommendations. And I think there are recommendations that if the commission decides they want to keep the event at this location, should be followed. I've communicated all this to the event organizers, and that's been the basis for my discussions with them over the last week or so.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.